Chapter 48-33, The Tree of No Mercy. Hei Shinjo saw the look in the eyes of the old ancestor of the Lan family and cursed in her heart. That damned old fox, he gave up just like that. He was really cold-blooded. This fellow calculated in her heart that she still had a trump card, and that was the ancient Buddhist scripture. If she used this as a condition, she should be able to save her without that old bald donkey. However, if that was the case, she would be too sullen. Could it be that she could not defeat a tree? Therefore, the guy blinked his eyes and snorted coldly. I heard that Buddha achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. The Bodhi tree is the embodiment of wisdom and holiness in the hearts of the people. But now, you are targeting me for no reason. Don't you feel a little embarrassed? Hearing that, the jade Bodhi tree did not release Yunchujo. Instead, it tightened its branches. The jade Bodhi seeds crashed into Hei Xinjia's face with ill intentions. Hei Shinjo could imagine that if those jade glass Bodhi seeds landed on her face, she would definitely turn into a pig's head. Stop right there. Otherwise, I won't hold back anymore. Hei Shinjo shouted. The crowd did not think much of it. It was obvious that her spiritual power had been restrained. What else could she do? Especially Ji Ping, his face was full of schadenfreude. He deserved it. He deserved it. This wretched girl was dead for sure. Hei Shinjo had no other choice. In a moment of desperation, she bit down on a branch of the jade glass Bodhi tree. This fellow had been forced into such a desperate situation that he had made such a move. However, to her surprise, she felt a refreshing and sweet juice in her mouth. This fellow felt that it was too damn delicious. Therefore, this fellow did not care about the jade glass Bodhi seeds anymore. Instead, he began to suck the juice from the branch of the jade glass Bodhi tree with all his might. The thick trunk of the jade glass Bodhi tree shook violently, and the jade glass Bodhi seeds that were gloating became restless. In an instant, the branches that were bitten by Yunchujo withered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Hei Shinjo was about to continue, but she was thrown away by the jade glass Bodhi tree. Hei Shinjo rubbed her buttocks that were hurt from the fall and said with her hands on her hips, "Come on. Continue to tie me up. I won't drink you to death." The guy pointed at the flying jade glass Bodhi seeds and said fiercely, "If you bump into me again, I will turn your mother into dried wood." The jade glass Bodhi seeds suddenly trembled and surrounded the jade glass Bodhi tree, not daring to approach Yunchujo. She was too bold. Wasn't she afraid that the sap of the jade glass Bodhi tree would be poisoned to death? However, it seemed that the sap was not poisoned. Otherwise, the wretched girl would not be so lively. While everyone was thinking, they heard Hei Shinjo say, "Humph. I have always been unreasonable. Although I don't know what kind of madness you have drawn to provoke me, you have tormented me for nothing. Kneel down and admit your mistake or compensate me. Otherwise, I would rather drink you to death today. Everyone, kneel." "Are you sure? How could a tree kneel?" Sect Master Liaowu stopped Hei Shinjo, who was about to charge at the jade glass Bodhi tree, with a stiff face. "Master Yun, since you have escaped, let's forget about this matter." Hei Shinjo wished that she could slap this old monk to death. What did he do just now? Now he knew how to settle the matter peacefully. How shameless. Chapter 48-34, The Shell. Hei Shinjo blinked. "Master Liaowu, didn't you say that everything was arranged by the Buddha? Since it was arranged by the Buddha and my personal karma, please don't stop me." Master Liaowu blushed. This little girl was using his words to shut him up. How tricky. Ji Ping said in exasperation, "Yunchujo, you are too presumptuous. This is the Zen sect, not the Lan family. Does my master have to listen to you?" Yunchujo glanced at him. "Get lost. You unruly thing. Do you even have the right to speak here?" Ji Ping was immediately enraged. "Stupid girl, you are courting death." TSK, Master Liaowu, did you hear that? He actually cursed. He broke the rules. Hei Shinjo gloated. Master Liaowu frowned. Ji Ping, don't be rude. Why aren't you stepping down? Ji Ping was furious, but he did not dare to disobey Master Liaowu's orders. He could only glare at Yun Chujiu fiercely before retreating to the back. Master Liaowu was about to continue persuading Yun Chujiu when he heard Yun Chujiu say, "Forget it. A kind person like me won't fight with a broken tree. Let's put this matter behind us. Ancestor, let's go back to the spring of tranquility." Although He Xinjiu said so, she was gritting her teeth in her heart. A wise man would not take advantage of the situation. When she took care of the Zen sect in the future, she would take care of the broken tree as well. When the time came, she would tear off all its leaves and make it bald. Then, she would write Wang Ba Shu on its trunk, infuriating it to death. Master Liaowu was concerned about the selection of the jade glass Bodhi seeds master. Therefore, he said a few words perfunctorily, indicating that Yun Chujiu and the three ancestors of the Lan family could leave now. However, what everyone did not expect was that the jade glass Bodhi seeds were dancing in front of Yun Chujiu and the other two. He Xinjiu snorted coldly, "Little dregs, I'm not going to argue with you anymore, but you still dare to provoke me? Do you have to make me drink your mother into dry wood?" The jade glass Bodhi seeds were no longer as arrogant as before. They flew around restlessly, not letting Yun Chujiu and the other two continue to move forward. Yun Chujiu could only look at Master Liaowu. "Master Liaowu, these little dregs won't let me go. What do you think?" Master Liaowu couldn't put it into words. He also couldn't understand why these jade glass Bodhi seeds had to compete with Yun Chujiu. Was it because she wasn't a member of the Zen sect? That wasn't right. He had never seen these jade glass Bodhi seeds compete with the master of the Lan family. Yun Chujiu frowned. "Didn't those shells say that they were useless?" Master Li said with a wry smile, "I'm just guessing. Almsgiver Yun, why don't you give it a try?" Yun Chujiu curled her lips and immediately threw a handful of fruit shells in front of the jade glass Bodhi seeds. "A bunch of misers. I'll return them to you." To He Xinjiu's bewilderment, the shells of the jade glass Bodhi seeds disappeared almost instantly after they landed on the ground. Thinking that his eyes were playing tricks on him, he grabbed another handful and threw it on the ground. The outer shells also disappeared in an instant. Master Li said as if he had realized something, I remember now. It is said that every time the jade glass Bodhi seeds recognize their master, there will be nothing left on the ground. Presumably, these outer shells will eventually turn into nutrients for the jade glass Bodhi tree. That's why these jade glass Bodhi seeds are targeting benefactor Yun. Chapter 48-35 Bodhi Original Treeless. Yun Chujiu frowned. Although what Master Li said made sense, she felt that these little dregs and the dead tree were definitely not targeting her just for this reason. Was it really because she had done something interesting in her previous life? While He Xinjiu was deep in thought, Master Liaowu said, "Almsgiver Yun, since you have found the reason, take out the outer shells of the jade glass Bodhi seeds. I believe that these jade glass Bodhi seeds will not be entangled with you anymore." He Xinjiu really wanted to extort the old monk, but after thinking for a while, she realized that she could not bear to mess up the big plan. Therefore, she reluctantly began to throw the outer shells of the jade glass Bodhi seeds out. While throwing them out, the old monk mumbled, "Little dregs, I'll return them to you. I've never seen such a stingy tree before. Since you can't bear to let others pick them up, make the shells disappear immediately if you have the ability. I've already picked them up, and now you want them from me. Do you still want the face of a tree? At first, I was too lazy to argue with a dead tree like you. Since you are so stingy, I can only expose your true colors. Bodhi has no tree to begin with. Bodhi has always been invisible. How dare you call a broken tree a Bodhi tree? I think you are a scammer. Shameless." As soon as Yun Chujiu finished her words, not only did the jade glass Bodhi seeds instantly turn into nothingness, even the jade glass Bodhi tree gradually turned into a shadow and disappeared. Everyone was shocked by this unexpected turn of events. What happened? Why did the jade glass Bodhi tree and the jade glass Bodhi seeds suddenly disappear? Could it be that they were scolded by Yun Chujo and ran away? Hei Shinjo was also very confused. She was just casually spouting nonsense and wanted to vent her anger, but who would have thought that she would give it, scold it, and disappear? These monks wouldn't let her pay for it, right? She was so poor that she couldn't afford to pay for it. This fellow felt that he should strike first to gain the upper hand, so he coughed dryly and said, "That tree probably felt that it was too ashamed to see me, so it hid underground. In a few days, when I leave, it will grow back." The jade glass Bodhi tree was a precious treasure of the Zen sect, and now it was scolded and disappeared by her. Did she want to let it go just like that? No way. The ancestor of the Lan family felt his head buzzing. He complained in his heart, this troublemaker. Why didn't she just take out her outer shell obediently? Why did she have to show off that the Bodhi tree doesn't exist? Now that the jade glass Bodhi tree of the Zen sect has been destroyed, there will definitely be trouble. If he had known that this fellow was so capable of causing trouble, he would not have brought her to the Zen sect no matter what. He was so regretful that his intestines turned green. Ji Ping had been holding back his anger before. Now that he finally had the chance to add insult to injury, he naturally would not let it go. He sneered and said, "Yun Chujo, don't quibble. You shouldn't have kept the outer shell of those jade glass Bodhi seeds. If it weren't for your poverty and mischief, nothing would have happened later, so you wouldn't be able to escape the blame. The jade glass Bodhi tree is the most precious treasure of our Zen sect. Even if you die 10 times, it won't be enough to erase your sins." The other Zen sect members echoed Ji Ping's words, "You're right. If it weren't for her, we might have already been recognized as master by the jade glass Bodhi tree." Exactly. It's all because of this troublemaker. Now, not only is the jade glass Bodhi tree gone, even the jade glass Bodhi tree has disappeared. Our Zen sect will no longer have the jade glass Bodhi tree. Kill her. Kill her. Chapter 48-36, I will change it back for you. Master Liaowu ignored the noise of these people and walked to the original place where the jade glass Bodhi tree was growing. He looked at it again and again and found that it was no different from the surrounding open space, as if the jade glass Bodhi tree had never grown before. Master Liaowu said with a trembling voice, Amit Ba, I am a sinner of the Zen sect. The treasure of the Zen sect has disappeared just like that. The people of the Zen sect had their eyes bloodshot as they denounced Hei Shinjo loudly. If Hei Shinjo hadn't hid behind the ancestor of the Lan family shamelessly, she would have been torn to pieces long ago. Hei Shinjo poked her head out and said with a twitch of her lips, "You are all scammers. What does it have to do with me if that broken tree is gone? If I had the ability, I would have said that all of you are gone." The people of the Zen sect were furious. How could it not have anything to do with you? Anyone with eyes could tell that the disappearance of the jade glass Bodhi tree was definitely related to the few words that this stinky girl had cursed. Moreover, if she had not shamelessly picked up the outer shell of those jade glass Bodhi seeds, there would not have been any subsequent incidents. Therefore, she was the main culprit behind the disappearance of the jade glass Bodhi tree. Only then did Master Liaowu look at Yun Chujo. His face was so gloomy that it was frightening. "Benefactor Yun, the jade glass Bodhi tree went missing because of you. You can either compensate us with a jade glass Bodhi tree right now, or you can stay in the Changming Hall of the Zen sect and be a lamp keeper." Hei Shinjo was overjoyed. She was just about to find an excuse to stay in the Zen sect. It was not bad to be a lamp keeper. The ancestor of the Lan family seemed to have read his mind. He lowered his voice and said, "The lamp keepers of the Zen sect have always been dead. Yun Chujo, damn that damn old bald donkey." He said it out loud if he wanted her life. He even had a lamp keeper. How shameless. To be honest, the old man was also dumbfounded. She did not know why the damn jade glass Bodhi tree suddenly disappeared. Was it really because of what she said, "There is no Bodhi tree in the first place"? This fellow weighed the pros and cons in her heart. The ancestor of the Lan family definitely wouldn't fall out with the Zen sect for her. She could only save herself. Although that ancient Buddhist scripture was precious, it definitely couldn't be compared to that jade glass Bodhi tree. Even if she took it out, she would probably only be able to barely keep her little life. The outcome wouldn't be any better. Of course, she could still use the demon sky bell and the little wooden fish to save her life. But first, she couldn't explain why she established a contract with the two things. Secondly, now that the demon sky bell and the little wooden fish had become like this, even if she said it out loud, Master Liaowu would not believe that these were the original daybreak bell and 11 wooden fish. This fellow thought for a long time but could not think of any solution. He decided to stall for time first. Although Master Liaowu did not believe his nonsense, he still felt a bit lucky, so he did not say anything. Hei Xinjiu gestured a few times as if it was a serious matter, and then muttered, "Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Heaven Spirit, Earth Spirit, hurry up and show yourself, little Bodhi." Master Liaowu was so angry that he almost died. What a mess. This fellow was talking about Spirit of Heaven, Spirit of Earth, hurry up and show yourself. This was clearly a Taoist, okay? Chapter 48-37, the 10-day deadline. Hei Xinjiu repeated it a few times. Not to mention the jade glass Bodhi tree, she couldn't even conjure a leaf. At first, everyone was still waiting, but later, they all sneered. This wretched girl was obviously stalling for time. It was impossible for her to conjure the jade glass Bodhi tree again. Master Lei shook his head. If he had known this would happen, he would have chased her back to the Spring of Tranquility when he first discovered her. This wouldn't have happened now. The disappearance of the jade glass Bodhi tree had something to do with this little girl. She was afraid that her life would be in danger. Although the Zen sect only imprisoned Yunfeng Jin and Yilan, they did not take their lives because. However, the Zen sect did not have any scruples about Yunchujiu. It was such a pity for this little girl. At this moment, Master Liaowu interrupted his thoughts and said coldly, "Master Liaowu, don't worry. Almsgiver Yun, since you have no way to compensate the jade glass Bodhi tree of our sect, you can only stay here as the lantern keeper of Changming Palace." Hei Xinjiu had already thought of a way to delay him while he was talking. He casually said, "Master Liaowu, that jade glass Bodhi tree is quarreling with me. I will summon it again in a few days, and it will come back. But if you kill me, then your Zen sect will never see the jade glass Bodhi tree again. You can decide what to do." Yun Chujiu was sure that Master Liaowu would be cautious. Although she could not completely solve the current situation, she could at least delay it for a while. Maybe she could think of another way. As expected, despite the disciples of the Zen sect clamoring to kill Yun Chujiu, Master Liaowu still said, "I will give you 3 days. If you cannot make the jade glass Bodhi tree appear again, I can only leave you to be a lantern keeper." Yun Chujiu said with a smile, 3 days is too short. The jade glass Bodhi tree is very temperamental. You have to give me at least 300 years. 300 years? How dare you say that? If not for the fact that Master Liaowu still had a trace of luck in his heart, he would have slapped this guy to death. He took a deep breath and said, "I will give you a few more days. If you still can't make the jade glass Bodhi tree appear in 10 days, don't blame me for being impolite. Alright, 10 days it is. Then I will go back to the Spring of Tranquility first." Hei Xinjiu said while blinking her eyes. Master Liaowu sneered, "The jade glass Bodhi tree went missing here, so you can think of a way here. Ji Ping, take some men to guard her. Don't let her leave here." A hint of viciousness flashed in Ji Ping's eyes. This stinky girl had finally fallen into his hands. Just wait and see. Master Liaowu's expression softened a bit. He said to the ancestor of the Lan family, "Master Lan, it's not that I didn't give face to the Lan family, but this is a serious matter. Please forgive me. You two should go back to the quiet spring to cultivate." The ancestor of the Lan family was not feeling well. Part of it was because Yun Chujia's life was about to be destroyed, and the other part was that the Zen sect did not put the Lan family in their eyes. If it was not for the incident that happened that year, how could the Lan family have fallen to this state? However, the Lan family did not have the strength to fight against the Zen sect. Although he felt bitter, the ancestor of the Lan family still sighed and left with Elder Tuo. Hei Shinjo saw that the Lan family patriarch had left just like that and cursed in her heart. He was indeed a cold-blooded old fox. Chapter 48-38, Get Lost. Master Li wanted to help Hei Shinjo excuse herself, but he didn't know where to start. After all, the incident happened in front of everyone's eyes, so he couldn't say anything. Finally, he left with Ji Kong and Ji Su, who turned back every 3 steps. When Master Liao Wu and the others left, Ji Ping said with a vicious look on his face, Yun Chuzhou, you didn't expect that you would fall into my hands one day, did you? Kneel down and beg for mercy right now, and I will let you survive these 10 days, or I will kill you right now. You are now the public enemy of the Zen sect. Even if I kill you, Master will not blame me. Get lost. Yun Chuzhou said impatiently. She was worried about the jade glass Bodhi tree right now, so she was very annoyed. Naturally, she had no patience to deal with him. Ji Ping was about to make a move when a monk behind him said, Martial Uncle Ji Ping, there's no need for you to do anything to deal with such a trash. Hand her over to me. Alright, Qing Lu, I'll hand her over to you. Just keep her breathing, Ji Ping said viciously. Qing Lu nodded obsequiously, and then looked at Yun Chuzhou with disdain. Yun Chuzhou, you are only at the 9th level of the Nirvana stage, while I am at the 2nd level of the Black Lotus, which is equivalent to the 2nd level of the extreme spiritual realm. You are no match for me at all. If you immediately kneel down and admit your mistake to Martial Uncle Ji Ping, perhaps Martial Uncle Ji Ping will spare you this time out of consideration for the goodness of heaven. Otherwise, you will. Ah! Ah! Qing Lu's words instantly turned into a scream. At the same time, there were also several explosions. Yun Chuzhou held a thick stack of talismans in her hand and sneered, What's wrong with the 9th layer of the Nirvana realm? What's wrong with trash? I'll kill you all just the same. I'm in a bad mood right now, so I advise you not to provoke me. Otherwise, one by one, I'll kill all of you. Qing Lu's face was covered in blood as he said ferociously, Yun Chuzhou, you actually dared to use talismans to hurt me? What kind of ability do you have? You must be an idiot, right? Why can't I use talismans? If you keep talking like that, I guarantee that I will blow you to pieces, Yun Chuzhou said contemptuously. You! Qing Lu was so angry that he almost died. He turned to Ji Ping and said, Martial Uncle Ji Ping, your Buddhist powers are superb. These talismans are not of much use to you. You better teach her a lesson. Ji Ping looked at Yun Chuzhou contemptuously and said, Yun Chuzhou, Qing Lu is right. Your talismans are useless to me. Hurry up and kneel down. He was met with a big sack and a sentence from Yun Chuzhou, kneel your fucking leg. Ji Ping subconsciously hit the sack with his palm. He was really unlucky. The chili inside flew in all directions. By the time he reacted, he was already choking with tears and tears. Achoo! Achoo! Stupid girl, you are too mean. Achoo! Ji Ping was so angry that he almost died. Although the chili was not poisonous, it was so hot that he could not open his eyes. He was afraid that Yun Chuzhou would take the opportunity to attack him, so he immediately condensed a black lotus to block in front of him. Yun Chuzhou pursed her lips, then walked to the side and took out a small pony to sit on the ground. She was not in the mood to deal with these idiots. The most important thing now was how to deal with the jade glass Bodhi tree. If she could not come up with a good solution 10 days later, Master Liao Wu would definitely take her life. Chapter 48-39, Someone is courting death. Yun Chuzhou didn't want to cause any trouble, but someone was courting death. After Ji Ping washed his eyes with water, he condensed a black Buddha lotus. The black Buddha lotus rotated slowly, and countless black Sanskrit flew towards He Shinjo. These black Sanskrit were all formed from Buddha power, so Yun Chujo naturally didn't dare to be careless. She didn't use talismans or chili noodles anymore, these things could only catch her off guard. If the other party was on guard, it would be useless. She immediately summoned cheap slut number 1 to block the Sanskrit words that were continuously shooting at her. Ji Ping saw that Yun Chujo had actually summoned a treasured sword, and the expression on his face became even more contemptuous. This trash actually dared to dream of borrowing external objects. He was truly extremely stupid. However, he was shocked to discover that sword intent had actually condensed around Yun Chuji's body, and those sword intent had also blocked the black Sanskrit words. This stinky girl had actually comprehended sword intent. However, even so, she was still not his match. Very soon, she could only cry and beg for mercy. Yun Chujo calculated in her heart that if she fought so systematically, she would not be Ji Ping's match at all. After all, Ji Ping's cultivation was much higher than Lan Lumis. She had to make a surprise move to win. Thinking of this, Yun Chujo raised her hand, and dozens of small purple needles shot out towards Ji Ping's vital points. Ji Ping looked at those small purple needles with even more disdain. This Yun Chujo was really too useless. She couldn't even materialize a spiritual beast. What use could these embroidery needles have? He could even catch them with his bare hands. Ji Ping thought and did the same thing. His hands flipped a few times and the small purple needles all fell into his hands. His lackeys kept shouting and cheering from behind. When they saw Ji Ping catch the small purple needles, they flattered him one by one. "Martial Uncle Ji Ping is really good. You can crush that smelly girl with one finger." "That's right, Yun Chujo, hurry up and kneel down and beg for mercy. Otherwise, you're dead meat." At this moment, several explosive sounds were heard, accompanied by Ji Ping's miserable screams. Yun Chujo retreated some distance, looked at him coldly, and shook her head regretfully. Ji Ping's cultivation level was much higher than Lan Lumis. Even if he wasn't prepared, those purple needles only blew up his hands until they were dripping with blood, and didn't break his fingers. Alas, it was a pity that De Hua was nowhere to be found. Otherwise, she could have used De Hua to deal with him. The strange grass in Yun Chuji's dantian was shaking its leaves anxiously. What was that stupid pig? Let it out. Once the Gowei Batsao was out, who could compete with it? Ji Ping swallowed a few pills and looked at Yun Chujo viciously. "Bitch, you dare to hurt me? You're courting death. Pitch, you're a monk, how dare you speak such evil words? Have you even read the Buddhist scriptures into the dog's stomach? If you're courting death, I won't stop you." "You brought this on yourself," Yun Chujo said coldly. Yun Chuji's eyes flashed with killing intent. In any case, she had more debt than she needed. Compared to the matter with the jade glass Bodhi tree, this Ji Ping was nothing. Although it was a little difficult to deal with Ji Ping, she had the curse of the Shao Hanyo and the little flame. As long as she planned carefully, she had a chance to kill him. At this moment, footsteps came from afar. Yun Chujo looked up and saw Ji Kong and Ji Su rushing over. Chapter 4840 was all a lie. Ji Kong and Ji Su soon arrived in front of everyone. Ji Kong said to Ji Ping, "The sect master has ordered the two of us to help you look after benefactor Yun." Ji Ping looked at the two of them unkindly. "My master asked you to come. Could it be that you are passing down my master's orders?" Ji Kong took out a law archive and handed it to Ji Ping. Ji Ping saw that it was indeed the law archive of Master Liaowu, so he snorted coldly. "I'm warning you, Yun Chujo is going to commit a crime. If you play any tricks, you won't be able to bear the consequences." Ji Kong ignored him. Ever since the incident at the vegetarian hall, he had already seen through Ji Ping's viciousness. Naturally, he couldn't be bothered to feign civility with him. He directly let Yun Chujo follow him and Ji Su to an empty space at the side. Ji Ping gritted his teeth. Sooner or later, he would kill these two idiots to avoid being an eyesore in front of him. Ji Kong and Ji Su smiled awkwardly. Then, Ji Kong said, "Benefactor Yun, it was the head of the Lan family who found our master. Our master then suggested to the sect leader that we come over." Yun Chujo was stunned. That old fox still had some conscience. She waved her hand. "It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's good that you're here. At least you can avoid Ji Ping from finding trouble with me." Ji Kong and Ji Su felt a little uncomfortable. Although they wanted to help, Yun Chujo had caused too much trouble, so they really couldn't help her. Yun Chujo naturally saw through their thoughts and smiled. "You don't have to blame yourself. Let's not talk about our friendship. Even if we do have a friendship, it involves the precious treasures of your sect, so it's not good for you to interfere. Don't worry, I've always been lucky. It'll definitely be fine." Ji Kong and Ji Su didn't know what to feel when they heard that. Although this female devil was treacherous, they had to admit that her nature was very kind. They had wronged her in the past. It was already late at night. Yun Chujo took out her all-purpose tent and lay inside to catch up on her sleep. Ji Kong and Ji Su looked at each other. This female devil was too ambitious. How could she still sleep at this time? Hei Xinjiu was not overly ambitious. She realized that she had been very sleepy recently. Although it was not as severe as when her primordial spirit was damaged in the ghost realm, it was still very uncomfortable if she lacked sleep. Hei Xinjiu slept all the way until noon the next day. She stretched herself and left the tent. Ji Kong and Ji Su looked at her speechlessly. One day less sleep meant one day less sleep. Was she really not in a hurry? Hei Xinjiu said to the two of them, "Leave one of you here. The other one will help me cook." Ji Kong and Ji Su looked at each other speechlessly. Then, Ji Su got up and went to the dining hall to cook. Yun Chujo took out the recliner and lay on it, thinking about the next step. It would be best if she could turn the damn jade glass Bodhi tree back into its original form. However, she had no idea how the thing disappeared or how it came to be. The guy recalled the situation at that time. First, the jade glass Bodhi tree turned into nothingness, and then the jade glass Bodhi tree gradually turned into a phantom. Could it be true that there was no Bodhi tree in the first place? Hei Xinjiu blinked her eyes and said to Ji Kong, "Little brother Ji Kong, the jade glass Bodhi tree didn't exist in the first place. It's all an illusion." Ji Kong looked at her as if he was looking at a lunatic. "Almsgiver Yun, I may not be a scholar, but you can't lie to me like that." Yun Chujo. Chapter 48-41, Xiao Mogu. Little brother Ji Kong, you don't understand. What is there is nothing, what is nothing is there. There is no Bodhi tree in this world. The jade Bodhi tree you saw was just an illusion. It was Buddha's test for you. Ji Kong looked at Hei Xinjiu, who looked like a fraud, and said speechlessly, "Almsgiver Yun, do you believe what you said?" Yun Chujo. She naturally did not believe that the jade glass Bodhi tree was an illusion. After all, it had existed for so many years, how could it be an illusion? Moreover, if it was an illusion, the jade glass Bodhi tree and the jade glass Bodhi seed should have disappeared at the same time, and there should not be a sequence. Moreover, there was still the outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed in her storage ring. If it was an illusion, these outer shells should not have existed. She felt that the damn jade glass Bodhi tree must have played some tricks to disappear. The reason why it did so was probably because it was afraid that she would absorb its juice, and secondly, it wanted to trick her. It was really a damn tree. Thinking of this, Hei Xinjiu narrowed her eyes. Where was that damn tree hiding? She curled her lips. Although she couldn't find that damn tree, she had Xiao Mogu. She didn't believe that the stupid tree could escape from her grasp. Thinking of this, Yun Chujo yawned. Ji Kong, I'm going to sleep again. Ji Kong, are you a pig? Didn't you just get up? Why are you sleepy again? After entering the small tent, He Shinjo summoned Xiao Mogu and let it crawl into the ground. At the same time, the guy came out of the small tent and raised his voice, saying, "Forget it. I'll sleep after Brother Ji Su brings home the vegetarian meal." Brother Ji Kong, let me tell you. Yesterday, that idiot Ji Ping was tricked by me with chili noodles. He's as stupid as he can be. Ji Ping, who was standing far away, was furious when he heard that. He immediately shouted, "Yun Chujo, shut up. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." TSK, impolite? You, this idiot, still want to pick a fight? Do you know why Master Liao Wu accepted you as his disciple? Because you are too stupid. He was afraid that you would make him die of stupidity, so he was kind enough to accept you as his disciple. He Shinjo said with a smile. The reason why this fellow acted like a demon was to attract the attention of everyone present. Otherwise, they might have discovered Xiao Mogu. Now that everyone's attention was on her, and Xiao Mogu was underground, no one would have discovered her. Ji Ping hated He Shinjo to the bone. Now that he was provoked by her, he would not swallow his anger. He immediately brought his lackeys and came in front of He Shinjo and Ji Kong aggressively. Ji Kong was speechless. Can't this female devil stop for a while? Why did you provoke Ji Ping at this time? He stood in front of Yun Chujo and said to Ji Ping, "Ji Ping, benefactor Yun is related to the jade glass Bodhi tree, so please don't act rashly." Ji Ping glanced at Ji Kong coldly. "Ji Kong, get out of my way, or I'll take care of you too." Ji Kong said coldly, "Ji Ping, if you continue to act like this, I can only report your actions to the sect leader. Even if you are the sect leader's disciple, the sect leader will not protect you." Chapter 48-42, but Face's reminder. Ji Ping was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Ji Kong was originally very slow-witted. Why did he suddenly become sharp-tongued? If Ji Kong really complained to his master would definitely reprimand him. Thinking of this, Ji Ping gritted his teeth. Anyway, once the 10 days were up, Yun Chujo would die. He didn't have to make his master unhappy. Ji Ping glared at Yun Chujo viciously when he thought of this. He turned around and was about to leave. There was still no news from Xiao Mogu. How could He Shinjo let Ji Ping leave? She curled her lips and said, TSK, are you afraid just like that? Aren't you very awesome? I think that you, an idiot, only dare to show off verbally. Wasn't she just looking for trouble? Was she crazy? Ji Ping couldn't care less about Ji Kong's threat. He immediately released a black lotus and rushed toward He Shinjo in black Sanskrit. He Shinjo, on the other hand, ran away. You little piece of trash. Come and chase me if you have the ability, you idiot. Ji Ping. I think you should change your name to Sacrifice. I don't know where you got the courage to come out and jump around. Are you trying to show off someone else's excellence? He Shinjo provoked Ji Ping while running. She completely focused the attention of Ji Ping and the others on her. At that moment, Ji Su came back with his meal. He immediately helped Ji Kong and Ji Kong to stop Ji Ping, causing a huge ruckus. He Shinjo caused a huge ruckus, but Xiao Mogu gave her very disappointing news. Xiao Mogu searched the ground within a radius of 10 miles, but she did not find any traces of the jade glass Bodhi tree. Yun Chujo was afraid that Xiao Mogu would be discovered, so she ordered Xiao Mogu to return to the small tent. She sneered at Ji Ping, I'm hungry, and I don't have time to play with you. If you continue to pester me, I'll tell Master Liao Wu. The reason I can't find the jade glass Bodhi tree is because you've wasted my time. Ji Ping's eyes were bloodshot. He wished he could strangle Yun Chujo to death, but Ji Kong and Ji Su stopped him. Although their cultivations were not as high as his, it was still a little difficult for them to work together. Moreover, he was also afraid that Yun Chujo would spout nonsense to Master Liao Wu. In the end, he gritted his teeth and left. There were still 9 days left. He could afford to wait. Yun Chujo found a catalyst and returned to the small tent to put Xiaomogu back into her spirit beast pouch. She was puzzled. Where did that damn jade glass Bodhi tree go to hide? Day after day passed. In the blink of an eye, it was already the 9th day. However, Yun Chujo still did not have the slightest clue. Ji Ping was secretly hating Yun Chujo. You're dead meat. Ji Kong and Ji Su were very worried. Once the 10 days were up, if this female devil could not find the jade glass Bodhi tree, she would be in deep trouble. Hei Shinjo was also very anxious. These days, not only did she send Xiaomogu to investigate, she also took the risk of sending Xiaomogu to investigate. She also sent out the spirit bees and spirit butterflies, but there were still no clues. The jade glass Bodhi tree seemed to have disappeared into thin air. This fellow sighed. If she really couldn't do it, she could only use the ancient Buddhist scripture to save her life. At this moment, But Face suddenly said, "Little fairy, don't you still have the relic of the old monk, Su Su? That old monk Su Su should be the ancestor of the Zen sect. As long as you take out his relic, are you afraid of that old bald donkey?" Yun Chujo slapped her thigh. How could she have forgotten about this? Chapter 48-43, I have an idea. Yun Chujo complimented Butt Face and instantly smiled like a flower. With the relic of the fake old monk, she could definitely avoid this disaster. Although she couldn't let her parents go, she could still meet them. However, for the sake of safety, she decided to ask around first. Therefore, she asked Ji Kong with a smile, "Brother Ji Kong, do you know old monk Wang Su?" "No." Hei Shinjo was dumbfounded. However, she thought about it and blamed her for not explaining it clearly, so she said, "I'm not talking about now. It was a long, long time ago, before your Zen sect changed its name." Su Kong still shook his head. "I've never heard of it." Ji Su exclaimed and said, "I remember now. 10,000 years ago, there was really someone called Wang Su. However, this Wang Su was a traitor of the bitter Zen sect. It was said that he was expelled. As for the specific details, I'm not sure. I happened to see it in a book in the scripture depository." Yun Chujo. This fellow's heart was like a dog that had been bald. The joy in his heart turned into bubbles. Could that old monk Wang Su have deliberately made fun of her? And he even asked her to bring his relic back to the Zen sect? Wasn't he asking her to be tortured? Since Wang Su was a traitor to the Zen sect, she couldn't take out his relic. If she took out his relic, not only would she not be able to escape, but she would also offend him. Therefore, this path was blocked. As for Wang Zu's last wish, she could only wait until she had the strength to deal with the Zen sect in the future. This guy remembered that he still had a lot of Buddhist lotuses. Why not take them out to save his life? Sigh, he really couldn't bear to do that. But Face said eagerly, "Little fairy, this money is just a worldly possession. It's better to save your life than to bring it with you when you're alive or when you're dead." Hei Shinjo also knew this principle, but this guy felt very indignant. She thought that she was smart, but she didn't expect that she would be fooled by a tree. It was so embarrassing. Bodhi was the embodiment of wisdom. It seemed that she had underestimated the jade glass Bodhi tree. This guy laughed at himself and took out the outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed to think about it again. One of the advantages of this guy was that he wouldn't give up until the last moment. Yun Chujo looked at the outer shell in her hand and suddenly sat up from the recliner. She took out an outer shell and threw it on the ground. The outer shell rolled a few times on the ground and then stopped moving. Yun Chujia's eyes instantly lit up. She curled the corners of her lips. No matter how cunning the dead tree was, it could not escape her little fairy Jo's eyes. Yun Chujo immediately stood up and said to Ji Ping, "Ji Ping, you sent a message to Master Liaowu, saying that I have a way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree." Ji Ping sneered, "Yun Chujo, even if you want to court death, you don't need to miss this day. Anyway, tomorrow is the deadline." He didn't believe that Yun Chujo could find the jade glass Bodhi tree at all. He thought that she just wanted to see Master Liaowu to plead for mercy. After all, she would die tomorrow morning. Yun Chujo curled her lips. Ji Ping, you are as stupid as ever. Little brother Ji Kong, you sent a message to Master Lei and asked him to help me tell Master Liaowu that I have a way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Chapter 48-44 made him shut his mouth. Ji Kong glanced at Yun Chujo and sighed. He thought to himself, this female devil must be lying. She probably went to the sect master to plead for mercy. Although it shouldn't be of much use, since she said it, he would help her this time. Thus, Ji Kong sent a message to Master Lei, asking him to pass on the message to Master Liaowu. An hour later, Master Liaowu came with a group of people. Ji Kong couldn't help but frown. Did Master not make it clear? Why did he ask the Master to bring so many people here? Under the watchful eyes of everyone, how could the female devil plead for mercy? He didn't know that Master Lei had made it clear. However, in order to shut up the Lan family's ancestor, Master Liaowu not only called the Lan family's ancestor over, but also called all the famous people of the Zen sect over. Everyone had the same idea. They felt that Yun Chujo was struggling with her last breath, and they didn't believe that she had thought of a good idea. Ji Ping sneered again and again. Yun Chujo was doomed. Master Liaowu came to Yun Chujo and asked in a deep voice, Master Yun, I heard that you found a way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Is it true? Of course it's true. It's more real than a pearl. That bastard, yes, that jade glass Bodhi tree may be cunning, but I still managed to catch its tail, He Xinzhou said with a smile. Master Liaowu was not in the mood to argue with He Xinzhou about the details. He asked anxiously, then, where is the jade glass Bodhi tree? He Xinzhou bared her little white teeth and said, no rush, no rush. Anyway, I've caught its tail. I'll find it very soon. Ji Ping could not take it anymore when he saw Yun Chujo being so smug. Master, don't listen to her nonsense. If she really has a way, why didn't she just let the jade glass Bodhi tree show itself? She's just pestering us. Maybe she's up to something bad. Yun Chujo curled her lips. Master Liaowu, I have to say that you're doing pretty well everywhere. It's just that you've taken in a stupid disciple. I advise you to expel this sacrifice from the sect as soon as possible. Otherwise, your reputation will be tarnished in the future. Stupid girl, you are courting death. Patriarch, save me. The Lan family's patriarch's intestines were already filled with regret, but what could he do? He waved his palm to neutralize Ji Ping's move. He ignored Ji Ping and said to Master Liaowu, since little Jiu said she has found a way, why don't you let her try? Master Liaowu looked at Ji Ping unhappily and said, Master Yun, this is not a child's play. If you can find the jade glass Bodhi tree, everything will be fine. But if you can't find it, you don't have to wait until tomorrow. I'll send you to be the lantern keeper today. Yun Chujo swaggered out from behind the old ancestor of the Lan family. Of course, no problem. However, Master Liaowu, you have to shut that stupid disciple of yours up. Otherwise, it will be bad if his nonsense affects my plan. Master Liaowu's heart was now filled with the desire to find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Therefore, he immediately said to Ji Ping, from now on, don't speak. Otherwise, I will not let you off easily. Ji Ping was furious, but he didn't dare to say anything. He hated her in his heart. Stupid girl, keep showing off. Let's see what you'll do if you can't find the jade glass Bodhi tree later. Chapter 48-45, the familiar formula. Master Liaowu urged, Benefactor Yun, can you make the jade glass Bodhi tree appear now? Yun Chujo said with a smile, that little thing is hiding cats and cats from me. I will find it now. You just wait and see. To be honest, everyone didn't quite believe Yun Chujo's words. They felt that she was deliberately mystifying and there was no way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Yun Chujo ignored the questioning gazes of the crowd. Instead, she said to Ji Kong and Ji Su, "In a while, follow me and pick up the outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed. Do you hear me?" Ji Kong and Ji Su did not understand what was going on, but they still nodded and agreed. Master Li smiled bitterly. Well, this little girl's words were more effective than his. After He Xinjiu finished instructing Ji Kong and Ji Su, she took out the outer shell of a jade glass Bodhi seed and threw it on the ground. The outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed rolled on the ground a few times before it stopped moving. Yun Chujo took a few more steps forward and threw another outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed on the ground. The outer shell rolled a few times before it stopped moving. This cycle repeated itself. Yun Chujo threw it all the way while Ji Kong and Ji Su picked it up from behind. Everyone was dumbfounded. What was this Yun Chujo doing? Was she toying with them? After a while, Master Liaowu frowned and asked, "Yun Chujo, what do you mean? Are you toying with us?" Yun Chujo continued to throw the outer shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed as she said, "Shoo! Don't scare the little thing away." Master Liaowu gritted his teeth and could only suppress the impatience in his heart. He was prepared to wait and see. However, seeing that Yun Chujo was getting further and further away, even leaving the back mountain of the main peak, Master Liaowu couldn't bear it any longer. "Benefactor Yun, this place has already left the back mountain of the main peak. Could it be that the jade glass Bodhi tree is hiding somewhere else?" Yun Chujo said impatiently, "It's not a fool. Naturally, it will hide in a safe place. Can you not dawdle and disturb me while I look for the tree?" Master Liaowu's face was flushed red from the rebuke. If not for the fact that he was still a little lucky, he would have smashed He Xinjiu into pieces. Ji Ping's face was filled with schadenfreude. This wretched girl actually dared to talk to his master like that. She was really courting death. Another hour passed, but Yun Chujo still couldn't find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Seeing that Yun Chujo had actually entered the Great Hall, Ji Ping couldn't help but say, "Master, this Yun Chujo is obviously playing with us. How could the jade glass Bodhi tree be hidden in the Great Hall?" Yun Chujo threw out another outer shell. Seeing that the outer shell had disappeared in an instant, the corners of her mouth curled up. Then, she turned around and said to Master Liaowu, "Master Liaowu, I once told you not to let Ji Ping, this idiot, speak, but he spoke too much just now. If anything happens to the jade glass Bodhi tree that I found later, it's all his fault. Please don't blame me." Master Liaowu was a little impatient. "You first jade glass Bodhi tree to find, say again." He Xinjiu said with a smile, "This is easy. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, the sky and the earth are all in a hurry. Little Bodhi, show yourself quickly." Everyone stared at her anxiously, but nothing happened. Everyone. The familiar formula and the familiar smell. Did this little girl think they were fools? Chapter 48-46 Burning down the Great Hall of Valor. Ji Ping sneered, "Yun Chujo, stop playing tricks. You have no way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Just be a good boy and be a lantern keeper." Yun Chujo suddenly turned her head and stared at Ji Ping coldly, saying, "It's all your fault for spouting nonsense and scaring the little thing away. Master Liaowu, if you want to find the jade glass Bodhi tree, hurry up and punish this idiot. Otherwise, it will be too late." "Master, don't listen to her nonsense." "Ah!" Ji Ping screamed in pain because Master Liaowu had slapped him out of the Great Hall. The reason why Master Liaowu did this was naturally to not leave any room for gossip. He stared at Yun Chujo gloomily. "Can it be done now? My patience is limited. If you still can't make the jade glass Bodhi tree appear within an hour, humph. An hour is enough, but there is one thing. From now on, no matter what I say or do, you cannot make a sound. Otherwise, don't blame me if all your previous efforts are wasted," Yun Chujo said seriously. It was the first time that everyone saw her so serious. They thought to themselves, could it be that she was not deliberately mystifying things and really had a way to find the jade glass Bodhi tree? Master Liaowu nodded. Yes. Yun Chujiu swept her gaze across the other people present. Seeing that they all nodded in agreement, she took out another shell of the jade glass Bodhi seed and threw it on the ground. The shell instantly disappeared without a trace. The corner of Yun Chujiu's lips curled up. She was absolutely certain that the damn Wangba tree was hidden in this great hall. The reason why this fellow was so certain was because she suddenly remembered that before the jade glass Bodhi tree disappeared, when she threw the outer shell on the ground, the outer shell would instantly disappear. Then, she recalled the words of a master lei. Every time the jade glass Bodhi tree bore fruit, other than a small number of jade glass Bodhi seeds that automatically chose a master, the rest of the jade glass Bodhi seeds and outer shell would disappear. This meant that the jade glass Bodhi seeds and outer shells were once again absorbed by the jade glass Bodhi tree as nutrients, and she was also taking advantage of this point. In other places, the outer shells did not disappear after landing on the ground, but in the Great Hall of Valor, the outer shells disappeared after landing on the ground. This meant that the jade glass Bodhi tree must be in the Great Hall of Valor. All she had to do was force out that bastard tree. Yun Chujiu threw another outer shell on the ground and said coldly, "Little thing, I know you are hiding here. Hurry up and get out. You coward, do you not have the guts to come out and see me? You are really embarrassing the tree. Hurry up and get out. Otherwise, I will burn this place down. Even if you are not afraid of fire, because of you, the Dharma body of the Buddha was burned. You have also provoked karma." Yun Chujiu smacked her lips for a while, but there was still nothing unusual. She sneered and raised her hand to strike the cloth curtain beside the Buddha statue with lightning. The cloth curtain was struck by the lightning and instantly burned up. Master Liaowu and the others were so angry that they almost fainted. This smelly girl was not looking for the jade glass Bodhi tree, she was courting death. She actually dared to burn their Great Hall of Valor, she was simply too daring. Just as everyone was about to make a move, they saw Yun Chujiu turning her head and giving them a warning glance. Only then did everyone remember what they had promised Yun Chujiu previously, they were all gnashing their teeth in anger. Could this damned girl have done it on purpose? Did she think that she wouldn't be able to live anyway, so she wanted to play along with them? Chapter 48-47 The jade glass Bodhi tree appeared at this moment, the cloth curtain had already been set ablaze, and the great hall was filled with a burnt smell. Ji Ping limped in. When he saw the situation in front of him, his face was filled with malevolent hatred. "Damn girl, just do it. You're dead meat." The Lan family's patriarch's heart was like a dog that had been bemoaned. This little girl was purposely provoking trouble in the sky. If you want to burn her Great Hall of Valor in front of the people of the Zen sect, aren't you courting death? If you really burned her Great Hall of Valor, not to mention the Lan family, even the heaven couldn't save her life. At this time, he heard Yun Chujiu say coldly, "Little thing, I'll give you 3 seconds. If you still don't come out when I count to 3, I can only let the old Buddha have a taste of being roasted by fire." Just when everyone thought that there would be no effect this time, a green color appeared on the palm of the Buddha statue. Everyone took a closer look. It was actually a jade glass Bodhi tree that had shrunk countless times. Yun Chujiu poured a few pails of water on the burning cloth before looking at the miniature jade glass Bodhi tree. This fellow hugged his shoulders and sneered, "Little thing, you sure know how to hide. You actually hid inside the Buddha statue. Unfortunately, I still found you. Don't you feel very aggrieved now?" The aggrieved feeling in the heart of the jade glass Bodhi tree could no longer be described with words. It thought that its wisdom was unparalleled, but in this life, the only 2 things that it had fallen into the hands of this smelly girl. It felt as aggrieved as it could be. 10,000 years ago, this fellow's cultivation was at least very high. It was not too shameful for it to fall into her hands. However, this time, she was just a piece of trash. It actually fell into her hands again. How could it be reasonable? Just as the jade glass Bodhi tree was feeling aggrieved, it heard Yun Chujiu say, "What's wrong? Are you still planning to settle down in the hands of Buddha? Hurry up and get over here." The jade glass Bodhi tree was so angry that its leaves were twitching. What right did she have to speak to it like that? If it did not go over, what else could she do to it? Yun Chujo curled her lips. 3 numbers. If you still don't hurry up and get over here, I will burn down this great hall of valor. 1, 2. The jade glass Bodhi tree was so angry that it almost died. Were those monks all dead? No one stopped her when she said that. What a bunch of trash. The jade glass Bodhi tree was afraid that Yun Chujo would really burn the Buddha statue and let it be affected by karma. It could only fly out from the Buddha statue's palm and float in front of Yun Chujo. Yun Chujo looked at the jade glass Bodhi tree in front of her, and 108 ways to deal with this broken tree flashed through her mind, such as frying, steaming, braising. The jade glass Bodhi tree trembled for a moment and then planned to escape. The jade glass Bodhi tree was so angry that its leaves stood on end. However, it was extremely confident that this fellow in front of it would do anything. It could only cower. Yun Chujo snorted coldly and then said to the dumbfounded Master Liaowu, Master Liaowu, I told you before not to let that Ji Ping spout nonsense. Now, it's all because of his nonsense. In the end, the jade glass Bodhi tree became so small. All of this was caused by him. If you want the jade glass Bodhi tree to return to its original state, you have to deal with Ji Ping. Chapter 48 had been threatened. Although Master Liaowu was confused by what was happening in front of him, he was not so confused that he believed Yun Chujo's words. He knew that Yun Chujo was using this as an excuse to take care of Ji Ping. The most important thing now was to restore the jade glass Bodhi tree to its original state. Therefore, even though he knew that Yun Chujo was deliberately messing with Ji Ping, he still said to Ji Ping, you've made a big mistake. Go to the discipline hall and receive 100 strokes of punishment. Ji Ping couldn't believe his ears. What? 100 strokes? What did he do wrong? 100 strokes of the rod? Master, are you senile? Without Master Liaowu, how can 100 strokes be enough? At least 300 strokes. Little Bodhi, don't you think so? Yun Chujo said as she looked at the jade Bodhi tree. The jade Bodhi tree's heart was like a muttering dog. What could it say? It could only shake its leaves bitterly, indicating that it agreed with Yun Chujo's words. Seeing this, Master Liaowu could only grit his teeth and say, if that's the case, then 300 strokes of the cane will be enough. Ji Ping, go and receive your punishment immediately. Ji Ping's legs went weak and he sat down on the ground. 300 strokes of the cane. That would take half of his life. Master, Ji Ping wanted to ask for mercy, but he was scared back by Master Liaowu's cold gaze. In the next moment, he was taken away by 2 monks. Ji Kong and Ji Zu's admiration for He Xinjiu was like a torrential river. What did she mean by killing without spilling blood? This was it. TSK, 300 strokes of the cane. Ji Ping probably wouldn't be able to get out of bed for 2 to 3 months. Sect Master Liaowu's expression was very ugly as he said to Yun Chujo, Benefactor Yun, I have already done as you said. Can I restore the jade glass Bodhi tree to its original state now? Yun Chujo nodded with a smile, of course. Little Bodhi, let's go. Follow me back to your original position. If you aren't obedient, HMPH. Although the jade glass Bodhi tree did not want to listen to her orders, it could not do anything to her. It had no choice but to accept its fate and follow everyone back to their original place of growth, returning to its original appearance. When the Zen sect members saw the jade glass Bodhi tree that had been lost and recovered, they almost burst into tears. Their precious treasure had finally returned. It was not easy. However, although the tree had returned, the jade glass Bodhi seed was gone. This must be blamed on Yun Chujo. Master Liaowu clearly thought the same way. He said to Yun Chujo, Master Liaowu, what do you think? Master Yun, Although the jade glass Bodhi tree has returned to its original state, because of you, we lost the opportunity to let the jade glass Bodhi seed choose its master. What do you think about this? Moreover, I helped you find the jade glass Bodhi tree. Shouldn't you thank me properly? Shouldn't you give me a gift of thanks? Everyone from the Zen sect was so angry that they laughed. They had seen shameless people before, but this was the first time they had seen such a shameless person. Thank you. It would be good enough if I didn't kill you. Are you shameless or not? Master Liaowu was about to flare up when he heard Yun Chujia's faint voice. Master Liaowu, you have to think carefully before you decide what to do. Otherwise, if this jade glass Bodhi tree tries to hide from you again, no one will help you find it. Master Liaowu almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Threat, this was a blatant threat. He didn't expect that the dignified Zen sect master would be threatened by a little trash. Chapter 48-49, The wretched jade Bodhi tree. Master Liaowu originally didn't intend to accept this fellow's threat, but in the next moment, he changed his mind. Because, he was dumbstruck to see that the little girl actually walked in front of the jade Bodhi tree and directly tore a branch into a baldi, while the jade Bodhi tree trembled and didn't have any other reaction. Yun Chujio pulled as she stuffed it into her mouth. Needless to say, the Bodhi leaf was full of juice, and it was even tastier than a spirit fruit. The jade glass Bodhi tree was about to cry. It was so pathetic. If it knew this would happen, it would not have taken revenge on her. But now, not only did it fail to take care of the little girl, it even put itself in a passive position. Could it be that it was going to become bald lady again? Master Liaowu anxiously chanted the name of Buddha, Amitabha, Amitabha, stop. Stop. Yun Chujio grabbed another bunch of leaves and said carelessly, these leaves are like hair. If the old ones don't go, the new ones won't come. I'm doing this for its own good. The jade glass Bodhi tree was so angry that the entire tree was in a bad mood. Shameless. Too shameless. She was the one who was greedy, and she said that it was for her own good? The tree was so angry. Master Liaowu felt his head hurt a little. Let's just kill this little girl. Let's not talk about whether the master of the Lan family would stop them. Even if he didn't stop them, if he really killed this little girl. What if the jade glass Bodhi tree went missing again in the future? But it was also true. She was the daughter of Yun Fengjin and Yilan, so she was naturally not simple. It was better to drive her out of the Zen sect as soon as possible so that there would be no more complications. Thinking of this, Master Liaowu said, forget it. Everything happens for a reason. Now that things have come to this, our Zen sect will not hold almsgiver Yun accountable. However, almsgiver Yun is no longer suitable to stay in the Zen sect. Please leave the Zen sect as soon as possible. Master Liaowu, you want me to get lost, don't you? Hei Xinjiu bared her little white teeth and asked. Master Liaowu, was this the reaction of a normal person? Master Liaowu, this is your fault. You took an ancient Buddhist scripture from my ancestor. Are you going to go back on your word? You can either return the ancient Buddhist scripture to my ancestor, or let us stay in the Zen sect for a full month, or you can let me rip off all the leaves of little Bodhi, Yun Chujio said with a smile. He had lost an ancient Buddhist scripture. If he left just like that, wouldn't he lose a lot of money? Master Liaowu was so angry that he didn't even know how to twist the Buddhist beads. How could there be such a shameless person in the world? However, he really had no way to refute. He had originally agreed to let the Lan family's ancestors stay in the Spring of Tranquility for a month. Counting the days, there were only 5 days to a month. Forget it, then let them stay for another 5 days. He would send people to strictly guard and not let this troublemaker leave the Spring of Tranquility. Thinking of this, Master Liaowu said with a gloomy face, forget it, then I will give you another 5 days. Let me say the ugly thing first. If you leave the Spring of Tranquility without permission within these 5 days, don't blame me for not being polite. Yun Chujio nodded. Master Liaowu, don't worry. If I didn't tell you that secret before, I wouldn't have left the spring of tranquility. I have always liked to stay still and don't like to move. I promise I won't go anywhere in these 5 days. Everyone's eyes twitched. You? Quiet person. Liar. Chapter 4850, Yin Sha. Master Liao nodded. I hope so. In that case, Master Lan, please. Although the Lan family's ancestor was not happy with Master Liao's neglect, no matter what, this little girl had saved her life. This was something to be congratulated. Therefore, he did not say anything and said to He Xinjiu, little girl Jiu, let's go. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and rubbed the leaves of the jade glass Bodhi tree a few times before she followed obediently. Looking at the bare branches of the jade glass Bodhi tree, the sadness in its heart was like a river flowing against the current. After such a big mess, that little girl did not do anything but it was slapped until it became bald. Fortunately, this little girl had finally left. It could be considered to have saved its last bit of face, or else it would have become bald again. Master Liaowu looked at Yun Chujius jumping back, and for some reason, he felt a little flustered. He decided to send the disciples of the discipline hall to strictly guard the tranquil spring, and absolutely not let this troublemaker run out again. After returning to the tranquil spring, the face of the Lan family's patriarch was very gloomy. Just as he was about to deal with He Xinjiu, he saw He Xinjiu say with a smile, Patriarch, time is precious. You'd better hurry up and cultivate. If you want to deal with me, you can deal with me when you return to the Lan family. I can't escape anyway. Also, these Bodhi leaves can be used as medicine, right? Those old bald donkeys are usually very stingy. I reckon you can't get them either. Take these as my gift to you. He Xinjiu handed the Lan family's patriarch a Bodhi leaf as she spoke. Patriarch Lan, how can one piece of Bodhi leaf be called this? How stingy are you? Didn't you masturbate a few times? Why did you only give him one piece? He Xinjiu laughed dryly and handed 2 more leaves to Patriarch Lan in pain. Buddhists pay attention to the 3 treasures. It's not good to have too many. Patriarch Lan, he couldn't be bothered to argue with this fellow. It was more important to cultivate in seclusion. He would deal with her when he returned to the Lan family. He Xinjiu saw that the ancestor of the Lan family and old Tua had gone to cultivate. This fellow held his chin and pondered. He had wasted the past 9 days on the jade glass Bodhi tree. He had not managed to get any news about his parents. It seemed that he would probably return empty-handed this time. What made this fellow even more vexed was that after returning to the Lan family this time, it would not be long before that scum Lan Luochen would come out of the forbidden area. Just thinking about it gave him a headache. She didn't know where her gigolo had gone. He was so worried about her. This guy's way of dealing with her was to eat. This guy took out a bunch of Bodhi leaves and started munching on them. After eating a few pieces, this guy saw that the Bodhi leaves were very similar to a leaf that could play a tune that she had seen in her previous life, so he picked up a leaf and started to play. This guy was thinking about his parents, so he played, Little Cabbage, the ground is yellow. The Lan family's patriarch and elder Tua, who were cultivating, suddenly opened their eyes. They looked at each other in shock. Sonic Kill. This little girl actually knew Sonic Kill. How was this possible? Sonic Kill was a secret technique that had been lost for a long time. How could she possibly know it? However, if it wasn't Sonic Kill, it was simply impossible for cultivators like them to be affected by the music. Even their spiritual sense would be affected. Although this was only the lowest level of Sonic Kill, it was enough to shock people. Chapter 4851. Killing in Sanskrit. The more He Xinjiu blew, the sadder she became. Memories of her past and present surfaced in her mind. When she thought about how her parents were imprisoned, but she was powerless to do anything about it, the sadness in the song became even more intense. As time passed, other than sadness, there was also a deathly stillness in the song. The surrounding flowers and trees began to wither at a speed visible to the naked eye. The disciples of the discipline hall were even in tears. Even though the Lan family's patriarch and elder Tua's cultivation levels were high, their hearts became sour. The two of them originally wanted to interrupt Yun Chujia's playing, but at this moment, they actually couldn't bear it anymore. What made the two of them even more surprised was that the gurgling sound coming from the Spring of Tranquility actually changed. It was actually the music that Ying and Yun Chujio were playing. The response from the Spring of Tranquility didn't matter. Even the Lan family's patriarch and elder Tua couldn't withstand it anymore. The two of them also fell into a state of grief that they couldn't extricate themselves from. Fortunately, the two of them still had the last bit of clarity. They found that at this moment, golden Sanskrit was spreading out along with the music. Oh my god, this was not a simple sound kill, but a Sanskrit sound kill. One thought of flowers blooming, one thought of flowers falling. This was the Sanskrit sound kill. It was rumored that the bitter Zen sect once mastered this secret skill, but it was lost for some unknown reason later on. As the Sanskrit continued to spread, all the flowers, plants, and trees in its path withered. All the Zen sect disciples wept and sobbed. In the discipline hall, Ji Ping had just received 300 strokes of the cane and fainted several times. As soon as he woke up, he heard a sorrowful melody, and instantly, he burst into tears. In the discipline hall, Master Liaowu used Buddhist power to suppress the grief in his heart. He looked at the Sanskrit language floating in the air, and his heart trembled. It was the Sanskrit sound kill. The Sanskrit sound kill was once the ultimate art of the bitter Zen sect, but it was inexplicably lost. How could it suddenly appear in the world now? Could it be that one of his senior brothers had suddenly comprehended the secret of the Fanyin killer? On one hand, he sent a message to Master Liaowu, and on the other hand, he quickly followed the sound and leaped toward the back of the mountain. However, as he got closer and closer, he could no longer suppress the sadness in his heart and sat on the ground with a worried expression. The experience of Master Liaowu and the others was similar to that of Elder Yin. At first, they were happy and shocked, but when they got close to the still spring, they couldn't take another step forward. Naturally, the jade glass Bodhi tree also felt the music. Its entire body trembled a few times. It knew that nothing good would happen when that female devil came. It looked like she had already lost the memories of her previous life, but why was she still so wicked? Dogs really couldn't change that. When the jade glass Bodhi tree thought of this, its trunk trembled. Ba, ba, ba. It didn't say anything. If that female devil knew that it secretly called her a dog, it would definitely become bald again. Buddha bless, do not let that female devil know about this. Fortunately, this fellow had always been ambitious. After the grief, the tune gradually became cheerful, and the quiet spring's response became pleasant to the ears. As the Sanskrit language spread, the surrounding flowers, plants, and trees became vibrant again. All the trees that could bloom bloomed, and even some weeds waved their leaves to express the joy in their hearts. The Zen sect disciples also changed their previous sorrow, and each of their faces revealed a joyful smile. Even the usually serious Master Liaowu also revealed a kind smile like that of an ant. Chapter 48-52, The wailing of ghosts and the howling of wolves. Hei Shinjo gradually calmed down, and the music also gradually stopped. This fellow put down the jade glass Bodhi leaf, and was dumbfounded to see that the flowers and plants in front of her had all bloomed. What was going on? While this fellow was still in a daze, Master Liaowu had already arrived in front of her. Master Liaowu looked around. Although he didn't quite believe that the Sanskrit music just now was played by this little girl, he still asked, "Were you the one who was playing the music just now?" Yun Chujio slightly raised her eyebrows. "Master Liaowu, don't tell me that I don't even have the freedom to play the tune." Where did you learn the Fan Yin kill?" Master Liaowu didn't answer but asked. "What is the Fan Yin kill?" Yun Chujio looked confused. She saw that the elders and the others were also present. Her heart skipped a beat. Could it be that playing a tune could cause trouble? It's the secret skill you used when you were playing the tune. Master Liaowu looked at Yun Chujiu anxiously. If she could get the Fanning killer's secret skill again, it would be a great blessing. Yun Chujiu was even more confused. Secret skill? I just casually played it. How can this be called a secret skill? Don't you know how to play such a simple tune? Everyone, who are you kidding? Just casually blowing on it could make these flowers and trees instantly complete a cycle of death and vitality? Seeing everyone's reaction, Yun Chujiu pointed at herself in disbelief. Could it be that these trees can bloom because of the tune I played? Seeing everyone silently nodding, she first looked dumbfounded, then laughed out loud. In that case, doesn't that mean that I have an incredible ability? Ha ha ha. I told you, I'm naturally talented and useful. I, little ninth fairy, am indeed not an ordinary person. Ha ha ha, in the future, if anyone dares to provoke me, I'll directly blow a song to death. TSK, I'm too awesome. This so-called Sanskrit killing is simply invisible. I'm too talented. Everyone was speechless. However, when everyone thought of the scene just now, they felt that it was normal for this guy to be so smug. This Fanning kill was indeed extraordinary. Master Liaowu interrupted He Xinjia's smug and said, Master Liaowu. Benefactor Yun, where did you learn the Fanning kill? To tell you the truth, the Fanning killer was originally a secret skill of our Zen sect, but it was lost for some unknown reason. If Master Yun can return the Fanning killer to our Zen sect will definitely reward you greatly. Yun Chujiu curled her lips. Master Liaowu, I think my skin is quite thick, but I found that your skin is even thicker than mine. What do you mean by returning it? If you say it's from your Zen sect, then it's from your Zen sect. I didn't use the Brahma voice kill. I used the ghost wailing wolf howling kill. Everyone, Master Liaowu's old face turned red from the rebuke. He gritted his teeth and said, Master Yun, if you can return the Brahma voice kill's secret skill to our Zen sect, I can let you meet your parents. Are you serious? Yun Chujiu asked in surprise. Master Liaowu nodded. Although you can meet them, you can only see them through the enchantment. Only you can see them, but they can't see you or hear anything. That's fine too. Yun Chujiu just wanted to make sure that her parents were safe and sound, even if they didn't say anything. Since you have agreed, please write down the secret skill of the Fanning kill, Master Liaowu said anxiously. He Xinjiu nodded, and then this guy found an important question. What the hell was the Fanning kill? She was just bragging. Chapter 48-53, Sanmao He Xinjia's eyes rolled around. In order to meet her parents, she had to make up a Fanning kill for them no matter what. Although this guy wasn't confident, he didn't look guilty at all. He slowly took out a pen and paper and began, drawing a 5-line score. Master Liaowu and the others looked at the 5-line score that Yun Chujiu drew with a blank expression. Was this heavenly book-like thing a Fanning kill's secret skill? No wonder it was lost. Even if this thing was placed in front of them, they wouldn't recognize it. Yun Chujiu drew the 5-line score of the little cabbage once and drew the 5-line score of the 2 tigers again. Then, she said pretentiously, Master Liaowu, this is the secret skill of the Fanning kill. However, if you want to play the Fanning kill, you must use the leaves of the jade glass Bodhi tree. This guy was secretly happy. Didn't that damn Wang Ba Shu trick her? This time, he would make her become bald. Master Liaowu and the others passed the Fanning kill secret skill to them, but they were all dumbfounded. They couldn't understand it. Master Liaowu could only thicken his skin and say, Master Yun, can you explain it to us? Yun Chujiu said pretentiously, Buddha ferries the fated person, so this Fanning kill naturally needs the wisdom root to be comprehended. You can't force it. You can practice it with the jade glass Bodhi tree leaves. Maybe you will be blessed. Although everyone was skeptical, they felt that He Xinjia's words made sense. It was probably because the Brahma voice killing was too difficult to comprehend that it was lost. Moreover, the jade glass Bodhi leaf was not something that just anyone could obtain. Only the little girl in front of them dared to touch the leaf. If they went, they might be killed by the jade glass Bodhi tree. After discussing with the others, Master Liaowu said to Yun Chujiu, Master Liaowu, you picked a lot of leaves from the jade glass Bodhi tree. Can you return, give some to us? Master Liaowu wanted to say, return, but he was afraid that He Xinjiu would say that he was thick-skinned, so he changed it to, give. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes, I ate all the leaves that I picked before. Only this one is left. How about this, I will help you pick some again. Master Liaowu and the others had no other choice but to agree. Therefore, He Xinjiu happily went to the place where the jade glass Bodhi tree grew again. When the jade glass Bodhi tree saw the malicious smile on He Xinjiu's face, its body trembled. It was done for. It must have known that it was secretly cursing her. This female devil had come to take revenge on it. He Xinjiu walked up to the jade glass Bodhi tree with a sinister smile on her face. Little Bodhi, since Master Liaowu and the others want to learn Sanskrit, we can only borrow your leaves to use. Don't worry, I will treat you very gently. Be good. As this fellow spoke, he stroked the leaves down. His heart was filled with joy. She was really happy, the jade glass Bodhi tree was on the verge of crying. It was over. It knew that it was going to become bald again. Woo woo, why couldn't it avoid the fate of becoming bald after 10,000 years? It wanted to resist, but when it thought of the consequences of resisting, it was afraid. Bald was better than dry. Yun Chujiu finally left 3 leaves for the jade glass Bodhi tree, which was euphemistically called, San Mao. Jade glass Bodhi tree, it wanted to be quiet, the kind of quiet where it would never see anyone again. Chapter 48-54, Parents He Xinjiu handed the tree leaves to Master Liaowu. Of course, this guy shamelessly deducted a part of the leaves. Master Liaowu could only turn a blind eye to it. Master Liaowu, I've helped you write this secret skill and also helped you pick the leaves. Can you let me meet my parents? Yun Chujiu said anxiously. Master Liaowu nodded. Follow me. This time, there was only one master and Master Li accompanying them. The 4 of them arrived at an inconspicuous meditation room. They each took out a jade token. After forming a seal, a transparent barrier appeared in front of Yun Chujiu. Inside the barrier was a meditation room. A man and a woman were meditating. The man was dressed in green. He had handsome features, but his hair was mixed with a lot of white hair. The woman was dressed in red. She was extremely beautiful, and her expression was somewhat indifferent. Yun Chujiu instantly had tears streaming down her face. Just by looking, she knew that these were her parents. She trembled and knelt on the ground, her face pressed against the enchantment. Father, mother. Inside the enchantment, Yun Fengjin and Yilan seemed to have sensed something. They both looked at the enchantment but didn't see anything. They looked at each other, smiled bitterly, and continued to cultivate. Yun Chujiu's tears gushed out like a spring. She murmured in her heart, Father, mother, little Jiu is here to see you. Quickly look at me. Father, mother, did you miss little Jiu? Little Jiu misses you very much. Father, mother, little Jiu will definitely save you guys, definitely. Originally, she had transmigrated here and had always felt a vague sense of distance from her original parents. However, at this moment, she felt a heart-wrenching pull. So this was the power of blood. No matter who she was originally, she was now their daughter. Master Liaowu and the other 2 shook their heads. Although they sympathized with this little girl, Yun Fengjin and Yilan were sinners, and they couldn't do anything about it. Yun Chujiu stuck to the enchantment and looked at it for a long time. Finally, under Master Liaowu's urging, she stood up reluctantly. She would definitely save her father and mother, definitely. Yun Chujiu was in a low mood. After Master Liaowu and the other 2 closed the enchantment, she went back to the Spring of Tranquility. The patriarch of the Lan family wanted to ask her about the Fanine killing. Seeing her like this, he didn't ask any more questions. The next day, the patriarch of the Lan family saw He Xinjiu was alive again, so he asked, "Little Jiu, do you really know the Fanine killing?" He Xinjiu then remembered the matter of the Sanskrit. She took out a leaf from the jade glass Bodhi tree and started to play. However, nothing happened. Moreover, this guy's playing was out of tune. This guy didn't believe it. He kept playing it several times, but it was still the same. What happened to killing without a trace? What happened to being awesome? The Lan family's ancestor and elder Tua looked at each other and came to a conclusion. It was probably a blind cat that had encountered a dead rat yesterday. The little girl's emotions were probably fluctuating as she accidentally touched the technique of the Brahma kill. It just so happened that she used the leaves of the jade glass Bodhi tree. More importantly, she had the calm spring to respond to it, which was why it had the same effect as yesterday. In reality, this little girl didn't even know the Brahma killing technique. She didn't even know the sound killing technique. Then the problem came. She had written the Brahma killing technique for Master Liaowu. What the hell did she write? Chapter 48-55 Buddha's candle lit up. The ancestor of the Lan family repeated his question. He Xinjiu blinked her eyes and said, "It's the Sanskrit mantra. I'm just not familiar with it yet." The ancestor of the Lan family shook his head. It would be a ghost if he believed her. However, it was none of his business. He had to seize the time to cultivate. Yun Chuzhou saw that the ancestor of the Lan family and elder Tua had gone to cultivate again. This guy took the leaf and played a few more times, but there was still no effect. This guy knew that he did not know any Sanskrit music, so although he was disappointed, he did not take it seriously. She held her chin and pondered. She had already achieved the purpose of this trip. Although her father and mother were locked up, they looked good and should not be in danger for the time being. What she needed to do was to improve her strength so that the Zen sect would release her. Therefore, she began to sit cross-legged and meditate. Although the spring of tranquility did not have much effect on her, it was very quiet here and could stabilize her cultivation. Soon, the news that Yun Chuzhou had failed to play the flute several times in a row reached Master Liaowu's ears. Master Liaowu's heart began to beat faster. Could it be that that little girl didn't know how to play the Sanskrit? But the Sanskrit she wrote was very profound and complicated, and it didn't look like she wrote it randomly. Perhaps she was just not familiar with it. On second thought, it was a good thing that Yun Chuzhou didn't master the Sanskrit. Otherwise, if she was really that powerful, she might have caused trouble. Counting the days, not counting 3 more days, that little girl would leave the Zen sect. The Zen sect could finally regain its peace. Just as Master Liaowu was thinking about it, Master Liaowu rushed in a hurry. Master Liaowu couldn't help but feel a little unhappy. This Master Liaowu was already so old, why was he still so impatient? He actually came in without passing the message. Senior brother sect leader, it's a happy occasion. A great happy occasion. Master Liaowu said excitedly. Master Liaowu was stunned. What joyous occasion? The Buddha's candle is lit. What? You mean the Buddha's candle is lit? Master Liaowu suddenly stood up, his face full of excitement. As Master Liaowu spoke, he directly left the meditation room and looked in the direction of the Changming Hall. He saw that the entire Changming Hall was covered in a layer of golden light, and he could faintly smell a faint fragrance. This kind of fragrance had the effect of calming the qi and concentrating the mind. It was indeed the fragrance emitted by the Buddha's candle when it was burning. Amitabha, good, good, good. I didn't expect that we would be able to see the Buddha's candle reignite in our lifetime. It's really Buddha's blessing. Master Liaowu was so excited that his eyes were red. Master Liaowu nodded and said, "Let's go to the Eternal Brightness Palace." On the other side, He Xinjiu, who was cultivating in the quiet spring, sniffed. Where did the fragrance come from? While she was wondering, she heard the ancestor of the Lan family and elder Tua say, "I didn't expect that the Buddha's candle of the Zen sect would be rekindled. From now on, the Eternal Brightness Palace won't have to arrange any lampkeepers anymore." Hei Shinjo blinked her eyes. She had not forgotten that old monk who had once wanted her to be a lampkeeper. The ancestor of the Lan family had even told her that the lampkeepers were all dead. What was going on? Hei Shinjo walked up to the ancestor of the Lan family and asked, "Ancestor, can you tell me about the lampkeepers? And what the hell is this Buddha's candle?" Chapter 48-56 The Messenger of Buddha's Candle. The ancestor of the Lan family explained, "The Buddha's candle is one of the 3 treasures of the Zen sect. It is said that the Buddha's candle will never be extinguished. The light and fragrance it gives off are very beneficial to the cultivation of the Buddha's power. However, it was suddenly extinguished 10,000 years ago for some unknown reason. Since then, it has never been reignited. The Zen sect had no choice but to build a hall of eternal light and place the Buddha's candle in it. As for the lamp keeper, he is responsible for taking care of the 108 Buddha's candles in the hall of eternal light and will never be extinguished." Yun Chujo frowned. "Forefather, didn't you tell me that the lamp keepers are all dead? Were you lying to me before?" The Lan family's forefather smiled and said, "I didn't lie to you. Most of the lamp keepers who enter the Hall of Eternal Brightness will not live for more than half a year. As for the reason, we don't know. This has also become a mystery of the Zen sect, and has become the most severe punishment of the Zen sect." Yun Chujo curled her lips. "I see. Maybe the lamp keeper was eaten by the Buddha's candle." "Nonsense. The Buddha's candle is an important treasure of the Zen sect. How could it harm people's lives?" The patriarch of the Lan family scolded. "Patriarch, you can't say that. Didn't you see that jade glass Bodhi tree trying to strangle me before? So the Buddha's candle might not be a good thing." Yun Chujo retorted. The old ancestor of the Lan family looked at her speechlessly. "Forget it. No matter what happens to the Buddha's candle, it has nothing to do with us. Just focus on cultivating." Yun Chujo nodded. She was not interested in the Buddha's candle, and she could not eat it. On the other side, Master Liaowu and the others rushed to Changming Hall. They saw that the 108 Buddha lamps that were originally lit in Changming Hall had all been extinguished, only the 10-foot-tall golden candle in front of them was emitting a golden light. Master Liaowu and the others immediately knelt down and kowtowed. The wick of the Buddha's candle shook slightly. At this moment, Ji Ping walked in from outside the hall. Master Liaowu and the others were all stunned. Ji Ping had previously received 300 strokes of the cane. Why did it seem like nothing had happened to him? Ji Ping's face was filled with pride. "Master, Buddha's candle had just given me a dream. It chose me as its messenger and as a reward, it healed my injuries." Ji Ping's words immediately caused a huge commotion. What? Buddha's candle actually chose Ji Ping as its messenger? It even healed his injuries? Everyone was skeptical. At this moment, Buddha's candle's wick trembled. Ji Ping said, "Master, Buddha's candle said that in order to make you believe, it will immediately let the Buddha's light flourish." This time, everyone present no longer doubted Ji Ping's words. They looked at Ji Ping with envy. Ji Ping was very pleased in his heart. Initially, he had suffered a great blow and felt that he would not be able to raise his head in front of everyone in the future. He did not expect that the Buddha's candle would actually choose him. It was truly a stroke of luck. Sect Master Liaowu looked at Ji Ping with a much gentler gaze. "Buddha's candle has chosen you as the messenger. This means that you have a wisdom root. Master did not misjudge you." Ji Ping was secretly resentful in his heart. What the old thing said sounded nice. Why didn't he say that when he was punished with 300 strokes of the cane? However, the most hateful person was still that stinky girl, Yun Chujo. He could use this opportunity to teach that stinky girl a lesson. Although he had the intention to frame Yun Chujo, he had just been chosen by Buddha's candle. He did not dare to act rashly and decided to wait for another 2 days. However, he did not expect Buddha's candle to say to him, "There is actually a woman near the spring of tranquility. This is a great disrespect to Buddha. Quickly kill that woman." Chapter 48-57, Killing on the Spot. Ji Ping was ecstatic when he heard this. "Ha, that damned girl is dead for sure this time. Master, Buddha's candle said that there was a woman near the still spring. This is a great disrespect to Buddha, so he asked us to kill her." Ji Ping suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and said, "Is this really what Buddha's candle said?" Sect Master Liao Wu frowned. He somewhat suspected that this was what Ji Ping fabricated for the sake of public and private revenge. Ji Ping was secretly resentful. This old thing actually dared to suspect him. "Master, if I were to lie, how could Buddha's candle not have any reaction? Besides, how would I dare to fake Buddha's candle's words? Wouldn't I be courting death?" Master Liao Wu thought about it and agreed. Although Ji Ping was stupid, he didn't have the courage to lie in front of Buddha's candle. However, was he really going to kill Yun Chujo? This was too hasty. Master Liao Wu bowed to Buddha's candle. "Buddha's candle, the Lan family used an ancient Buddhist scripture as a condition. That's why I let them cultivate near the spring of tranquility. Therefore, it's not good to kill her. Why don't we expel Yun Chujo from the Zen sect? What do you think?" Ji Ping snorted. "Master, Buddha's candle said that no matter what happened before, that Yun Chujo had sullied the spring of tranquility. We must kill her, or else the Zen sect will be in big trouble. Buddha's candle also said that the reason why it reignited was to warn us. If that Yun Chujo doesn't die, the Zen sect will never have peace." Master Liao Wu and the others were really in a difficult position. Killing people for no reason would bring about karma, but not killing them, if what Buddha's candle said was true, wouldn't the Zen sect be in danger? Just as everyone was hesitating, the 108 Buddha lamps in Changming Hall were all turned into ashes. Everyone was so scared that they quickly knelt on the ground. They knew that Buddha's candle was angry. Ji Ping saw this and felt very happy. He said, "Master, it'll bring people to catch Yun Chujo and let Buddha's candle decide." Master Liao Wu thought that this would work too. Maybe things would turn around. So he said, "Then you should invite Master Lan and the other two over first. Then we can discuss the next step." Ji Ping nodded in agreement and led the disciples of the discipline hall to the tranquil spring. He sneered in his heart. Invite them over. He would take that bitch's life in a moment. In any case, this was Buddha's candle's order. Even if he killed Wu, that old fart, he wouldn't dare to do anything to him. As for the master of the Lan family and that hunchback, it was obvious that they didn't take Yun Chujo seriously. As long as he knew what was at stake, he believed that they wouldn't interfere. Soon, Ji Ping and his men arrived at the Spring of Tranquility. Patriarch of the Lan family, I was ordered by Buddha's candle to kill Yun Chujo. Please do not interfere. Ji Ping went straight to the point and explained his purpose of coming. The discipline hall disciples behind him did not know the details, so they believed Ji Ping's words. The patriarch of the Lan family was stunned. What did you say? Buddha's candle wants you to kill little Joe. Why? Buddha's candle said that if Yun Chujo doesn't die, the Zen sect will never have peace, so she must die. Master Lan, this concerns the survival of our Zen sect, so we can only kill her, Ji Ping said viciously. The patriarch of the Lan family frowned. How can little Joe make your Zen sect never have peace? Could there be a mistake? Why don't we go see Master Liao Wu first, and then make a decision? Ji Ping would never agree. He was eager to kill Yun Chujo to take revenge, so he sneered, Master Lan, how can we delay the order of Buddha's candle? Do it. Chapter 48-58, Come and Kill Me. Ji Ping gave the order, and the dozens of Discipline Hall disciples behind him swarmed forward, surrounding the three ancestors of the Lan family in the middle. Master Lan, I won't make things difficult for you. As long as you and Elder Tua don't interfere, you can leave this place and continue your cultivation. The face of the Lan family's ancestor was a bit gloomy. He took out the voice transmission talisman and wanted to ask Master Liaowu what was going on, but he found that the voice transmission talisman was not sent successfully. Ji Ping sneered in his heart when he saw this. The Hall of Immortals isolation talisman was also the reason why he dared to do this, because the Lan family's patriarch had no way to find out the truth in a short time. By the time he found out the truth, Yun Chujiu was already dead. The Lan family's patriarch was in a bit of a dilemma. Although it was not difficult for him to deal with these disciples of the Discipline Hall, once he made a move, he would lose all decorum with the Zen sect. Was it worth it for Yun Chujiu, the troublemaker? Ji Ping saw that the old ancestor of the Lan family was a little hesitant and said, Master Lan, since Yun Chujiu is the ominous person mentioned by the Buddha's candle, she must have some influence on your Lan family. You'd better not interfere. Hearing this, the old ancestor of the Lan family felt his heart beat faster. If it were not for her, Luo Chen would not have fallen to this state. Could it be that she was really an ominous person? Buddha's candle was an important treasure of the Zen sect. Naturally, what it said would not be wrong. Could it really not care about this little girl's life and death? At this time, Yun Chujiu, who had been silent all this time, said lightly, Ji Ping, you don't have to go through so much trouble. I have lived enough anyway. Come and kill me directly. Everyone, was this little girl crazy or stupid? Ji Ping looked at Yun Chujiu suspiciously. Yun Chujiu, what trick are you playing again? I'm telling you, no matter what, you're dead today. Anyway, I can't escape today, so I won't struggle in vain. Come and kill me. Yun Chujiu closed her eyes as she spoke, looking like she was at the mercy of others. Although Ji Ping still had some doubts in his heart, he hated Yun Chujiu too much. On second thought, seeing that he had convinced the head of the Lan family, it was possible that Yun Chujiu knew that she could not survive and gave up on herself. Moreover, his cultivation level was much higher than Yun Chujiu's, so he was not afraid that she would play any tricks. Therefore, he walked in front of Yun Chujiu with a sinister smile and slapped Yun Chujiu's head. The ancestor of the Lan family was still hesitant. Before he could decide whether to attack, he heard Ji Ping scream. The Lan family's patriarch only felt that Ji Ping's head was in Yun Chujiu's hand in the blink of an eye. He was shocked. How did she do it? It turned out that the moment Ji Ping got close to Yun Chujiu, he stumbled and wanted to get up, but his feet were entangled by something. Although the lightning didn't do anything to Ji Ping, the small flame directly burned his right arm into charcoal. Yun Chujiu went forward and cut off Ji Ping's head with her sword. When Yun Chujiu cut off Ji Ping's head, she conveniently kept Xiao Mogu into her spirit beast pouch. All of this happened in a flash, and because the Lan family's ancestor and the others were too shocked, they were unable to discover the existence of Xiao Mogu and the small flame. Yun Chujiu held Ji Ping's head and said to the people from the Discipline Hall, I won't make things difficult for you. Take me to the Temple of Immortals now. Otherwise, I will kill all of you with my Sanskrit voice. The people from the Discipline Hall looked at each other. The horrifying scene yesterday was still vivid in their minds. They thought that since Yun Chujiu was willing to take the initiative to go to the Temple of Immortals, they didn't need to take the risk, so they nodded and agreed. Chapter 48-59, This troublemaker, was too much. Yun Chujiu looked at the old ancestor of the Lan family with a complicated expression. Old ancestor, do you want to cultivate here or go to the Temple of Immortals with me? The old ancestor of the Lan family looked at Yun Chujiu's clear eyes and felt somewhat guilty. He said dryly, let's go together. Yun Chujiu sneered in her heart. She didn't have any high hopes for this old fox. It was better to rely on herself. She didn't say much. She put Ji Ping's head into her storage ring and followed the people from the discipline hall to the Temple of Immortals. Master Liao Wu of the Lan family was now in a mess. Let's not talk about why Buddha's candle wanted this troublemaker's life. Now that she killed the disciple of Master Wu, it wouldn't be good. On the other side, Master Liao Wu and the others from the Temple of Immortals didn't know that Ji Ping was dead, but Buddha's candle did. Ji Ping was the messenger that it had chosen. Once Ji Ping died, it naturally sensed something. It secretly hated in its heart. What a waste. He actually died just like that. However, when that smelly girl arrived at the Temple of Immortals, she would be taught a lesson. The humiliation from 10,000 years ago would be settled today. Just as Master Liao Wu and the others were feeling anxious, they saw the three ancestors of the Lan family coming over. Where's Ji Ping? Could it be that Buddha's candle had arranged for him to do something else? When the three ancestors of the Lan family entered the Temple of Immortals, Yun Chujia's gaze immediately fell on the Buddha's candle. She raised her eyebrows. A broken candle actually dared to go against her. If it didn't know its place, it would pull out its wick in a while and turn it into a hollow wax. Although Master Liao Wu saw the serious expressions of the Lan family's old ancestor and elder Tua, he didn't care too much. After all, Buddha's candle wanted to kill Yun Chujio, so it was normal for them to act like this. Master Lan, sigh. I think Ji Ping has already told you, right? Buddha's candle insisted on killing benefactor Yun, so I could only ask him to invite the three of you over. We will discuss it, Master Liao Wu said. Master Lan was stunned. Master Liao Wu, do you mean that Ji Ping is going to invite us over instead of directly killing little Jiu? Master Liao Wu was stunned for a moment, then said, that's right. I asked him to invite the three of you over. Perhaps Buddha's candle will not pursue the matter with Master Yun after explaining a few things to him. Yun Chujio snorted coldly. Master Liao Wu, but that Ji Ping did not say that. He kept saying that he wanted to kill me on the spot, and even told my master not to interfere. What? There's actually such a thing. This Ji Ping is really bold. There's no need to explain. Normally, I would never trouble others with matters that I can solve by myself. Yun Chuzhou said as she took out Ji Ping's head from her storage ring and threw it on the ground. Everyone couldn't believe their eyes. This was Ji Ping's head. Ji Ping was killed. Although Master Liao Wu despised Ji Ping's stupidity, he was still his disciple after all. Now that he was killed, how could he not be angry? Yun Chuzhou, what do you mean? Why did you kill Ji Ping? Master Liao Wu stopped addressing Yun Chuzhou as benefactor Yun in his anger. Yun Chuzhou snorted coldly, what a joke. He wanted to kill me for no reason. If I didn't kill him, would I have kept him for the new year? You are allowed to kill people, but no one is allowed to resist. Is this the benevolence of your Zen sect? Moreover, Ji Ping was killed by my ancestor. What does it have to do with me? Even a good-for-nothing like me can't kill him. The ancestor of the Lan family, he finally understood what it meant to be wicked. This troublemaker was too wicked. Chapter 4860, Creating Rumors is Free. The ancestor of the Lan family had the intention to deny it, but as an elder, he couldn't bring himself to put the blame on the younger generation. Moreover, based on his understanding of this troublemaker, if he denied it, she would definitely have other plans waiting for him. Even if there were disciples of the discipline hall to testify, this troublemaker would definitely be able to twist the truth. However, he would not allow He Xinjiu to pin the blame on him, so he said, Master Liao Wu, Ji Ping forcefully wanted to kill little Jiu. I injured him in order to save someone. Initially, the matter ended here. However, he suddenly made things difficult for little Jiu. Little Jiu made a mistake and killed him. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. This old fox was really cunning. By saying this, he first took the moral high ground and then pushed the crime of murder onto her. Master Liao Wu naturally wouldn't let it go just like that. Just as she was about to say something, she heard Yun Chujo say, "Well, talk about these trivial matters later. Didn't you say that Buddha's candle was looking for me? Is it that ugly candle?" Master Liaowu was so angry that he was half dead. What did he mean by trivial matters? Was the death of his disciple a trivial matter? And the ugly candle? That was Buddha's candle, all right. The wick of Buddha's candle began to tremble violently. It had chosen Qing Lu outside the hall as the messenger. Furthermore, this time, it did not need to clear the path to deliver the message. It had directly taken control of his body. Impudent! How dare you slander me like this? Quickly kill her. Everyone was stunned when they saw Qing Lu walk in from outside the hall and heard what he said. Was he possessed by Buddha's candle? Yun Chujo looked at Qing Lu and then at Buddha's candle, who was not far away. Then, she said with a chuckle, "Ugly candle, you said that you couldn't choose a decent messenger. Look at the things you chose. Each one is worse than the other. They really have the same taste. Who are you calling ugly? You're the ugly one. Your whole family is ugly. Your ancestors are all ugly for 8 generations." Buddha's candle said through gritted teeth. Yun Chujo blinked her eyes and then said to the ancestor of the Lan family, "Ancestor, it called you ugly, aren't you going to kill it?" The ancestor of the Lan family, Master Liaowu, said with some hesitation, "Buddha's candle, why do you have to kill Yun Chujo? Why are you talking so much nonsense? If you don't kill this wretched girl, the Zen sect will suffer a great calamity, and the entire Zen sect will be destroyed." Buddha's candle shouted sternly. Yun Chujo slapped Qing Lu's face. "You don't need money to spread rumors, do you? I'll slap your jinx to death. You still call yourself Buddha's candle? Since you're Buddha's candle, you should sweep the floor and not harm the lives of the ants. You should cherish the moth gauze lamp, but you just opened your mouth and shut your mouth, wanting to kill people. Where is the slightest bit of compassion?" Buddha's candle only controlled Qing Lu's body, so it did not feel any pain. However, it was embarrassing. Buddha's candle's wick began to tremble violently. The golden light turned into countless Sanskrit words and swept towards He Xinjiu. Yun Chujo shamelessly pushed Qing Lu's body forward, and all the Sanskrit words landed on Qing Lu's body. Qing Lu immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Buddha's candle said in exasperation, "You vicious little girl, you're shameless." Yun Chujo shrugged her shoulders. "You're the one who injured her, what does it have to do with me? Besides, if you didn't insist on possessing Qing Lu, none of this would have happened." Chapter 4861, Where is your face? Buddha's candle was so angry that it almost died. It gnashed its teeth and said, "I order you to kill this brat immediately, or else I will turn the entire Zen sect into a living hell." TSK, the fox's tail has been exposed, hasn't it? Since you are the treasure of the Zen sect, you should take it as your responsibility to protect the Zen sect. But you, in order to achieve your goal, you actually threatened to turn the Zen sect into a living hell. This means that you have long been possessed by the devil. You are no longer worthy of becoming the Buddha's candle. I think you are the devil's candle. Also, I heard that many lamp keepers don't live past half a year. It must be your doing. Master Liaowu, I didn't expect that your Zen sect would actually treat such a thing as a treasure. It really makes people sigh. Yun Chujo said with a sigh. Upon hearing this, Master Liaowu and the others immediately became suspicious. Yes, why was the Buddha's candle so vicious? Also, the previous lamp keepers had indeed all died. It was just that they had previously thought that it was because those people had committed heinous crimes that Buddha's candle had taken their lives. Could it really have something to do with this Buddha's candle? Nonsense. I was just saying it. My main goal was to kill you. Otherwise, the Zen sect would have been destroyed because of you. Do you really believe her or me? If you kill her, my Buddha's candle will be enough to improve your cultivation. Buddha's candle changed to a bait. Master Liaowu and the others were tempted. When the Buddha's candle was in full bloom, they all felt that it would help their cultivation. Moreover, Yun Chujiu had killed Ji Ping and seriously injured Qing Lu. Even if she was killed, no one would be able to say anything wrong about the Zen sect. At this moment, Yun Chujiu said faintly, "If you are not afraid of going mad, just do as it says. It has already become a demonic candle. Even if the light it gives off is a demonic light that contains evil energy. I advise you to quickly seal this demonic candle or kill it. Otherwise, your Zen sect will become a devil sect. Don't you think about why it was extinguished 10,000 years ago? The ancestors must have found some clues and sealed it. However, you gave it so many lamp keepers. This demonic candle absorbed the essence of those lamp keepers, so it was rekindled. Do you think this is a good thing? This is a disaster. Since I've said this, you can decide what to do. I have never been afraid of death. If you want to kill me, then kill me." Buddha's candle almost fainted from anger. Don't you know how it was extinguished back then? Yun Chuji's heart sank. She was afraid that Buddha's candle would say that she was the ghost ancestor. She directly slapped Qing Lu's face. "There's no need for you to sow discord here. Yes, my parents were imprisoned here, but they didn't do anything to their children. This has nothing to do with me. Moreover, all beings are equal. Can't I tell you what I think? You, a treasure of Buddhism, actually joined the devil path, and you still have the nerve to show off here? If I were you, I would have turned into ashes and dried my tears long ago. Where's your face? I'm asking, where's your face? You're talking nonsense. I didn't join the devil path. If you didn't join the devil path, how did those lamp keepers die? Do you dare to say that it has nothing to do with you?" Yun Chujiu asked with a sneer. She was relieved in her heart. This idiot finally changed the topic. Chapter 4862 serves you right for not lighting up even after 10,000 years. Buddha's candle was obviously a little guilty. Of course, their deaths have nothing to do with me. TSK, you'll be struck by lightning if you lie. Yun Chujiu snorted coldly. Boom! A purple heavenly lightning descended from the sky. Although it did not strike Buddha's candle, it struck the roof of Changming Hall, causing the entire Changming Hall to tremble. Buddha's candle trembled in fear. Amitabha, Amitabha. It's related to me. I was just too bored, so I wanted to play with them. Who would have thought that they were too cowardly and scared themselves to death? Oh. How did you play with them? It's nothing. I just didn't let them move and used the Buddha's candle to scare them. Who knew that they were so cowardly that they could be scared to death this way? Buddha's candle said with some grievance. Everyone, you deserve to be extinguished. You deserve to not light up for 10,000 years. Yun Chujiu looked at Master Liaowu and said, Master Liaowu, you heard it. This Buddha's candle is just a nonsensical thing. Its words have no credibility at all. Moreover, it can possess other people's bodies. If it were to possess you one day, the consequences would be TSK. Therefore, it's better to extinguish it so that the Zen sect won't be disturbed. Yun Chujiu's words clearly touched Master Liaowu. Keeping such a Buddha's candle that could be possessed with one's body was a huge hidden danger. If it were to possess him on a whim one day, it might take his old life. The other people of the Zen sect also looked at the Buddha's candle vigilantly. Previously, when Ji Ping was chosen, everyone was a little envious. After all, he was just a messenger. But now, it was different. Buddha's candle had directly controlled Qing Lu's body. Perhaps Qing Lu's soul had been taken by it. This was too terrifying. When Buddha's candle saw everyone's expressions, he suddenly had a bad premonition. He hurriedly said, "Don't listen to her nonsense. The reason why I possessed her body this time is because the situation is urgent. Normally, I wouldn't do this. It was fine if the Buddha's candle didn't explain, but this explanation made the people of the Zen sect feel even more uneasy. This Buddha's candle had taken the lives of so many lamp keepers just for fun. In the future, it would surely become even worse. Yun Chuzhou was right. This wasn't a Buddha's candle, it was clearly a devil's candle. Buddha's candle was so angry that it almost died. How did it become a devil candle? That smelly girl turned it into a devil candle with just a few words. Yun Chuzhou shrugged her shoulders. I don't know about that. I'm not a member of your Zen sect. However, you'd better be on your guard. Otherwise, it will attach itself to someone else's body to sow discord and cause trouble. Buddha's candle couldn't bear it any longer and cursed angrily, a bunch of idiots. You just believe whatever this stupid girl says. Are you all idiots? Don't you know that she is, your great aunt? Ugly candle, I advise you to be more sensible, or else you'll be struck by lightning again. Yun Chuzhou threatened. Buddha's candle thought of the purple heavenly lightning just now and couldn't help but tremble. She swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. Yun Chuzhou snorted coldly when she saw this. If you don't want to be extinguished, it's not like there's no other way. If you beg me, maybe you'll be kind enough to give you some pointers. Buddha's candle was so angry that it was twitching. This stupid girl was so weak now, but she could still eat it to death. Woo woo, where's justice? Where's justice? Chapter 4863 Buddha's Candle, Humph, beg you? No way. Besides, you have no way to extinguish me. What am I afraid of? Buddha's candle said angrily. It found that this female devil had lost her memory, so she didn't know how to extinguish it. In that case, what was it afraid of her for? With this thought, Buddha's candle suddenly had nothing to fear. It felt that Kingless body was really not that good, so it switched to another disciple and jumped into Changming Palace. Humph, you bunch of trash. From now on, I am the boss of this Zen sect, and you all have to listen to me. Now, all of you kneel down and kowtow to me, or else I won't be polite. Master Liao Wu and the others felt as if their hearts had been bleeded. Was this Buddha's candle crazy? No wonder it had been extinguished for 10,000 years, it deserved it. This kind of thing, it would be best if it was extinguished for the rest of its life. Seeing that no one was moving, Buddha's candle said in exasperation, how dare you disobey me? If you don't kneel down to me, I will kill this disciple. Master Liao Wu and the others saw that the disciple possessed by Buddha's candle was holding a sword across his neck. Each and every one of them was as big as a bucket. If they didn't do it, not only would this disciple's life be over, Buddha's candle would also harm other disciples. But if they did it, wouldn't it increase the prestige of Buddha's candle? It was really worrying to death. Buddha's candle saw that everyone was in a difficult position. He laughed strangely in excitement, it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. Quickly kneel down. Master Liao Wu and the others saw that there was already a bloody scar on the neck of the disciple possessed by Buddha's candle. They could only kneel down. After all, they had knelt before Buddha's candle before, so it wasn't too embarrassing. When the Buddha's candle saw that Yun Chuzhou and the other two were still standing, he said angrily, "Damn girl, why aren't you kneeling?" Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. "I'm not a member of the Zen sect. If you want to kill me, then kill me. What does it have to do with me?" Master Liao Wu, since the Lan family has nothing else to do here, we will return to the Spring of Tranquility. You guys can slowly play with it. Without waiting for Master Liao Wu's reply, Yun Chuzhou strolled out of the Changming Hall. Buddha's candle blinked its eyes. It wanted to teach Yun Chuzhou a lesson, but it was afraid that it would be tricked again, so it simply did not bother with her and continued to torment Master Liao Wu and the others. The Lan family's patriarch and elder Tua naturally would not stay in the Changming Hall and also left with Yun Chuzhou. When Buddha's candle saw that Yun Chuzhou had left, it became even more unbridled and almost tortured Master Liao Wu half of his old life. Fortunately, the Buddha's candle could only possess the disciples and not the elders with higher Buddha power. Otherwise, it would be even worse. Master Li took advantage of the time when the Buddha's candle went out to torment the other disciples and whispered to Master Liaowu, "Master, I think only that little girl Yun Chuzhou can take care of the Buddha's candle. Why don't we ask her for help?" Master Liaowu had no choice but to ask someone to invite Yun Chuzhou to Changming Palace. "Benefactor Yun, as long as you can subdue Buddha's candle, everything that happened before will be written off. What do you think?" Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes and said awkwardly, "It's not impossible, but you all have to listen to me. No matter what the result is, you can't blame me or go back on your words." Of course. Master Liaowu only wanted to restore his peaceful days, so he naturally agreed. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.